What's going on, everybody, and welcome to Ron 2's Motivation and Conversation, where I'm your host, Ron Lyles. It's my job to make you think and motivate you to keep you going, growing, and flowing into a life of a better and more improved you. And wherever you're listening to me from in the world today, I say to you, hello, 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 hello. And today, we're going to be talking about fighting through frustration, fighting through frustration. All right, you've got to fight through it. You've got to fight through the frustration. All right. First off, I just want to thank everybody for tuning in. And if you like or love any of the content that I'm posting, that I'm putting out there, these audio segments, please, ma'am, sir, share, like, but most importantly, subscribe. Please subscribe, hit that notification bell so you can be notified anytime we put out any brand new content. All of my social media links are in the description, so please, ma'am, sir, follow me. I would love to have you become a part of my social media family at once. Please, ma'am, sir, follow. All right, so we're going to dive right into this, talking about fighting through frustration. Let us understand, first off, what being frustrated means, okay? To be frustrated, it is feeling or expressing distress and annoyance, especially because of an inability to change or achieve something. All right, so we've heard that definition of being frustrated, the feeling or expressing distress and annoyance, especially because of the inability to change or achieve something. So basically, frustration, we all have to understand, is something that we've all experienced at some point. We've all been frustrated. We've all been annoyed. We've all experienced the inability to achieve something, okay? The ability to make something happen, okay? We've all experienced frustration, the inability to change something. We've experienced that. And so frustration is normal. Let's not get it twisted. Frustration is normal. It is a normal thing to be frustrated. But the problem comes in when we as people make frustration a way of life. You shouldn't wake up every day frustrated. You shouldn't wake up every day annoyed and mad. You shouldn't wake up every day upset. But if you do, then there's an evaluation that needs to take place. What in my life is causing me to feel frustrated continuously? What in my daily surroundings is making me get to the place where I wake up frustrated? I go through the day frustrated. I lay down frustrated. What is causing me to be frustrated or agitated or easily annoyed at the inability to change something? You know, what is causing me to feel just this overwhelming heat and amount of frustration? What is causing me to be annoyed at the fact that I haven't achieved something? There's somewhere there is not only a door open, but there is a disconnect. There's a disconnect somewhere. The chip is falling short. And so you really have to evaluate and really survey and sit down and pinpoint the object or the target that is causing the frustration. And a lot of you already know what it is. So now it becomes a point of, how do I fight through this, or how do I get past this hurdle? How do I get past this obstacle that's causing me to live a frustrated life? Okay? A life where I'm always easily agitated, easily annoyed, easily upset, just easily knocked off kilter. That's when frustration now has become a way of life. And you have to be very careful that frustration doesn't become a way of life, because once frustration sets in and becomes a way of life, then it starts affecting you literally in every area of your life. You start seeing it in your health. All of a sudden, your body starts to break down. Mentally, you start going through changes. physically. Now, all of a sudden, you can't be effective. You want to move forward. You want to do this. You want to do that. You start putting things on hold. Then you start procrastinating. And procrastination turns into depression. You get that? Procrastination, it turns into depression. And so now, not only are you putting things off, but now you're falling into this lull, this laziness or this depression now that's got you living a life full of regret, all stemming from the root of frustration, confusion, unforgiveness. Because now you aren't forgiving yourself for what you feel like you've missed out on. Come on. You feel like it's all your fault and you're blaming yourself and beating yourself up when literally all you had to do was address the frustration, the stress. Yeah, the stress. So it's your job literally to fight through the frustration. You've got to fight it. You can't sit here and let frustration beat up on you. But you've got to get to the point where, and we've heard this before, where you're sick and tired of being sick and tired. Where you're tired of the frustration. Where you're tired of frustration being the big brother always beating up on you. Always putting you in a headlock. Always wrestling you down to the ground. At some point, you have to fight back. At some point, you have to realize, like, hey, wait a minute. There's something more in me. If I'm still living, if I'm still breathing, if I'm still alive, there's something more that I have to give to this life than every day just to be frustrated, day in, day out, night in, night out, stressed out, annoyed, agitated. So you need to sit down and evaluate. You need to sit down and evaluate. 2, you need to come up with a game plan. You need to come up with a game plan. Take notes. Get the notebook out. Write some things down. Jot your ideas down. Come up with the game plan that's going to help you move in the direction that you want to move in. Come up with the game plan that's going to help you move forward, even if it's a day-by-day game plan. Just little things that you can accomplish day by day. We've all heard the saying, Rome wasn't built in a day. So don't sit here and think that you're just going to accomplish a million things in one day and then everything's going to turn around. No, but these are daily steps. This is a daily transformation. You fight through daily, and guess what? As you keep going, as you keep progressing, then guess what? The fight gets a little lighter to now where it doesn't even feel like you're fighting through, but you're just maturely walking through the process. Fighting through frustration. You might even have to change company. Because if you're linked up with other people that are just frustrated and none of them are happy, none of them are excited, none of them are glad, none of them are moving forward, none of them are taking steps, you may have to switch your company. We've heard that before. We've heard it before. You might have to switch who you're on the phone with, who you're talking to, who you're hanging around. Get around some go-getters. Get around some people, watch this, who can identify with the frustration, but I'm not going to let frustration keep me where I am. I'm going after it. I'm getting after it. There's a difference. You have people who allow frustration to keep them where they are. Then you have some that allow frustration to fuel them. Let frustration fuel you tonight. And I'm saying tonight because it's late. It's 11:10 p.m. where I am. Let frustration fuel you. All right. Some of your greatest athletes, some of your greatest people had things that fueled them. A lot of them were fueled by frustration. We know Michael Jordan's story. He was cut from the basketball team at Laney High School. As a sophomore, he was cut, I believe, as a sophomore. And literally from that point on, he went to shatter state records. He went to break records at Laney High School. And we all know he left Laney, went to Chapel Hill, North Carolina, hit the elbow shot, won the national championship against Georgetown, against John Thompson's Georgetown, then turned around, drafted by the Chicago Bulls. We already know what he did with the Bulls. We already know. But that level of greatness stemmed from a moment of frustration when he was in high school. Frustration brought us arguably, and I believe it, the GOAT, arguably the greatest basketball player to ever live. All that skill stemmed from a moment of frustration in the 10th grade. Mike Tyson, frustrated, brought up in Brownsville, Brooklyn, literally. No father, mother strung out. And so he got tired of having to fight every day. So he took that frustration from the streets and literally put it into a boxing ring. Became the youngest heavyweight champ of the world. Iron Mike Tyson. The machine that we saw in the ring stemmed from frustration. He took that frustration and used it as fuel. Used it as fuel. One of the greatest minds that we've ever even heard of, Albert Einstein, was told that mentally he was developing slowly and that he would always be a part of the developmental classes, but then became one of the sharpest minds known to man. Frustration. We can go down the list. We can go down the line. We don't even have to use athletes. We don't even have to use public figures. Look at some of you out there that's listening. Some of you right now, you are successful because of frustration. Frustration fueled you. It fueled you. It was that octane that you needed. It was that jolt of energy that you needed. It was that burst, that push that you needed to be told no, to be told that you can't, to look at yourself, to look at your life and see that you weren't going anywhere, weren't doing anything. So it turned around and became your fuel. And that's what it should have done. That's what you needed to do in order to move forward. Fighting through the frustration. It's not going to always feel good. It's not going to always feel good. It's not going to be a bed of roses. It's not going to always be peaches and cream. Some days you're going to literally have to fight for it. But if you want it bad enough, you're going to get it. I've come to find that out about people. What people want bad enough, they get. They find ways. Knowing good and well there is no way, they find a way to make it happen. That's how you have to be about fighting through this frustration. Some of you listening to me right now, you're so frustrated. But you can fight through it. You can go through it. You can get through it. Get through it. You can do it. You can do it. Stop the pity party. Stop the blame game. Stop finding new people to point the finger at. And look at the person in the mirror and affirm that person and tell that person, you're going to make it. You're going to do it. You're going to get through the frustration. You're going to fight through it. And you will reach the other side. You will get to the other side of frustration. You will. Don't take no for an answer. Don't back down. Don't step off. But no, you've got to fight through it. Can't nobody fight it for you. We wish. Sometimes we wish. But can't nobody fight the frustration for you because it's something that you feel. You feel this. So you have to fight through it. You have to push through it. You have to make it through it. You have to determine in your mind that no matter how frustrated I am, this will not become a way of life. This will not become customary. This will not become a cycle. Ooh. We're going to do a segment on cycles too. That's another segment for another day. But the frustration will not become a cycle that'll keep me limited because I've made it a way of life. So the list goes as follows. Once again, I'm going to repeat. Evaluate. You've got to evaluate. Do some self-evaluation. Change your surroundings or your company. Look at who you're with. And if they're speaking negatively, if they're always continually down, frustrated, you may have to shift company. Okay? 3, you've got to come up with a game plan. got to game plan. Come up with the game plan. Come up with the strategy. 4, you've got to fight through it. You've got to fight through it. You've got to exercise discipline. Somebody said, well, I don't know how to be disciplined. Exercise consistency. Well, I don't know how to be consistent. Well, consistency and discipline goes hand in hand. So if you don't know how to, you better start reading and learning and day by day understand what it takes to be consistent and have discipline. And then start walking it out. Maybe you need to listen to some audio series on consistency and discipline. You may make me go ahead and just do an audio segment on discipline and consistency. But nevertheless, find out what it takes to be consistent and have discipline so that you can put yourself on a pathway to fight through frustration. Always, 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 always do this. Last but certainly not least, this really is the top of the top. You've got to shore up your relationship with God. Align yourself vertically with Him. Align yourself with Him. Pray. Seek His face. And literally, He will direct your path. Literally, He will direct your path. He will make the crooked places in your life straight. He will dot your I's and cross your T's. The moment that you put your faith and trust in God, God will direct you. He's the greatest captain, the greatest navigator, the greatest GPS system. He's the greatest. So definitely make sure that you put yourself in a posture to receive and hear from God Himself. All right. Listen, I love y'all. I thank y'all for listening to me so far. We're on a roll with these audio segments here. We're on a roll, and I appreciate you all. Thank you. Please share this audio segment. Like, share, comment. Feel free to comment. But most of all, subscribe. We need to get these follows and subscribers up to 1,000. That's the goal. We want to get them up to 1,000 so we can really start making a push here. All right. Listen, I love y'all. To all my followers, to all my family out there that listens to me on the regular. Some of you are maybe new to me, and some of you may be new to me here in the future. I thank you. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you so much for following me. Listen, ma'am, sir, it's been a privilege to host yet another audio segment, and I look forward to talking to you all again soon. We're going to come back. Rontu's Motivation and Conversation. We're going to come back again with another segment where we will be discussing and breaking down another awesome topic to speak on. All right. I love y'all. Thank y'all. Peace.